Hi guys, welcome back. It's LSP. It's currently the 17th of February 2021. So I'm going to go through the usual suspects, guys. Couldn't get a video out yesterday. I was very busy. I believe this is episode 13. So I'll go through the usual, and then I'll do a very loose overview of Euro JPY lesson at the end of the video. So stick around for that. And I'm going to quickly go through these guys because I don't want to take up too much of your time, and I want to kind of keep these videos as short as I can. So I'm not, I want the retention to be there for people as they're watching these videos to just get a snapshot of what I'm trying to say, and then we move on to the next pair. So again, really quick overview. Original area of liquidity, price has come down and tapped into that once. Okay, so we still have resting orders down here. We had a really nice move away from that. Okay, price came down, back up, so it's confirming it wants to go higher. It started to grind higher towards this area up here, where we're expecting price to take this out and run into this area over here. But prices subsequently came down. Okay, and then we had a really nice drop today. Okay, and it's dipping into a secondary area of liquidity which it created here on this first bounce. Okay, so where do we go from here on Euro USD? It is, in my opinion, anyway. Right, there's a couple of ways you can look at this. And again, this is not trade advice, obviously. This is all for education and study. But there's a couple of ways you can look at this. If price starts to grind lower or push lower in any way, okay, as far as I'm concerned, one of those rare occasions that if price does start to come lower, anywhere near this low, it's taking it out and it's going to dip into this liquidity. Okay, end of story. Yeah, it's one of those I'm going on record and saying if price drives lower and starts to come anywhere near this low, it will take it out and it will dip into this area of liquidity. Okay, if price starts to grind higher, me personally, I would want to see this candle negated completely. So I want to see price above this high. Okay, because there is still enough range left from this high to here for me to take a trade maybe next week or the week after, if that's how long it takes. Okay, so I've got the bottom end covered and I've got the top end covered. Either way, it's just a question of waiting and being patient. That's it. Okay, so we just wait, we see what happens, and we take it from there. The pound USD. Okay, so yeah, I mean, look, it started to accelerate as as I was saying, and I really wanted to see that acceleration as I've been saying. It slowed down yesterday a little, and then obviously we've had a bit of a pullback, but it's just healthy. You can see relative to everything else that's going on this chart, literally from down here all the way to here. There's been a few occasions where it's got a bit messy, but relative to all of this, it's just a normal healthy pullback. So as it starts to grind back up, I'll be looking for an opportunity to grab this on the way back up into this area up here, which I'll just show you again, just as a quick recap. We know is the weekly level up here. All right. So we either catch it on the way up or we catch the fade as long as the conditions are there as it's running into that level. All right. The pound Japanese yen. This was expected, to be honest. As I said, for me, it has to run very quickly, and that last portion of capitulation has to be here. Yeah. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to extend this out now to make it really clear what I'm talking about. The last portion of capitulation. Okay. Rip, bang, like Bitcoin rip, all the way up there, has to be here. Yeah, above all of these highs. Otherwise, I can't do anything with it, basically. Yeah, if it just kind of starts to accelerate and then it gets about here and then it comes back a bit and then it just does that last. It's not good. I need it to just rip up there. And if it does it, great. If not, then it is what it is. And there's plenty of other pairs to trade. Pound, Aussie dollar. Nothing really. Again, we know what we're expecting on this. So we'll move on to the USD Japanese yen. I did say that it's if you remember in the previous lesson or the lesson before, sorry, the previous episode or the episode before, that although I keep skipping past it, the last time I looked at this chart, I was saying it could pop, but it's not the kind of thing that I'm personally looking to do or looking to trade, but it just looked like it was ready to pop, and obviously it's just popped a little bit today. Which I think the USD front currencies, which we'll see again in a second on the USD CAD as well, just had a little bit of a pop recently. and that's why this is going as well. But not interested in doing anything with USD Japanese yen. The USD CAD, although it did pop a little bit today, okay, and right now it's currently up around about 16.6 pips. It's just effectively a reaction from the area of liquidity down here where it's at. So I'm gonna put myself out there again, and I'm gonna say if price starts to grind lower now, that will be the one that's basically gonna take us into this level down here, and especially below this low down here. So I'm going to zoom in one more just so we've got a couple of times, just so we've got a nice clean picture of this now, and I will be watching this very closely going into next week and tomorrow at 4 o'clock. I may do a live session, meaning I might record a live session tomorrow at 4 o'clock just solely focused on the USD CAD, because there's crude oil inventories coming out tomorrow, so it might be interesting. It might be worth watching that. What would be cool if inventories come out, it rips to the upside, takes out some liquidity up here, reverses, and then starts to grind to the downside, or it just rips to the downside, tags into the into the liquidity pool down here, picks up some buy, and then starts ripping back up. So there's both sides, but yeah, I might do that. Depends on how things go. Gold, as expected, guys. I keep saying it. 1775 is what I want to see, and I am very close to pulling the trigger on the buy. I'll just let you know now very quickly. I'm looking to buy a 1 ounce gold coin, which is the 1 ounce Britannia. I live here in the UK, so if anybody's, if anybody knows anything about gold, the actual physical gold, buying coins here in the UK, if you buy the Britannias or the sovereigns, they're capital gains free. There's no VAT on gold anyway. But the Britannias, because they're legal tender over here, they're capital gains free as well. So, and the premium on them, if you ever need to liquidate them, is slightly higher, and you can liquidate them quite quickly. So hopefully we see 1750 or slightly lower, and I can pick up the coin as and when it gets there. So I'll just keep an eye on this tomorrow, which it's looking like it's probably going to get there before the end of the session, really, but we shall see. Silver, not really much, 6 pips up, it's nothing. And again, I keep saying, if when we see what we want to see on silver, it's going to be obvious. So Euro JPY, really nice aggressive response today. Basically popped, Monday, popped on Tuesday, and then just dropped straight back into the top end of this range, which is quite interesting. And what I was saying was, when we drop down to the hourly, we start to look for confirmation in some order flows. Try to figure out, what's going on in terms of picking up ideas, confirmation of flows based on these high time frame ideas. So we've got this upper level above us. We've got all of this structure below us. We believe, based on the studies that we're doing, that price could potentially be going higher. And I'll just clarify very quickly, that price could potentially be going higher, okay, to reach into this area up here. Alright, so it's just tapped into a liquidity pool here. We know this for a fact because it's just responded very aggressively there. Yeah, so it started to accelerate to the upside, it responded aggressively there, and then it's just dropped. So we know it's just picked up liquidity, sell side. Right, it had to have done. There's no question about it. Just picked up sell side liquidity, but it's just come out of a consolidation which it's been in for a very, very long time. We've already had confirmation that it wanted to break out in the first place. So as far as I'm concerned, this pullback right now, as aggressive as it looks, is not as scary as it seems. Okay, so I'm still expecting this upper level. Right now, what I like to do, and what I was talking about in terms of, sorry, I'll just do it like this, guys. What I was talking about in terms of going through these sort of like hourly flows, is to get enough data, roughly about this, and you start to look at how price is moving around. So we came out of this consolidation quite nicely, and then it started to accelerate, okay, and just track the price with me. we came out of this consolidation, and it's quite placid, nothing really happening, and then it starts to accelerate just there. So it's reaching for liquidity, reaching, and then it finds it just there, and we know it found it because it responded. It starts to pull back, but look what it does. It consolidates. Yeah, so it's consolidating, 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 and then it rips again, right, to try and find liquidity, and it finds it, and then it starts to get really messy. Yeah, and it stays, and it just tags the high ever so slightly, and then it starts to pull in, pull in, pull in. Very small pause, all right, and then it drops just there, right? Now it's at this point here, right? If this was going to continue going higher, right, it would have done it just there. It would have dropped, taken out the liquidity here, dipped into this original breakout just there. Okay, so just think that right in this little spot just there would have been an accumulation of liquidity, and price would have dipped into it just there to pick up the liquidity and then start to grind back up to the upside, and then obviously reach for that upper level, you know, because it was accumulating through all of this consolidation, blah 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 blah, and it was going to go and offload much higher at a higher price, facilitate loads of trade, pay all its orders, do whatever it needs to do. Okay, but it didn't do that. It dropped, paused again, dropped, paused again, dropped, paused again, and then obviously right now it's resting right at the top of the excuse me, resting right at the top of the consolidation. So when we look at this, what I like to do, I like to think to myself, okay, the higher time frame for me is always going to win. Yeah, even when it doesn't, it's always going to win. And I know that sounds like a weird thing to say, but I've you know, what I'm trying to emphasize is that higher time frame wins every time. Okay, I'm never going to look at an hourly chart and think, oh, you know, the hourly chart's going to be much stronger than the weekly. It's never going to happen. Weekly, daily, they're always going to be, you know, for me, the time frames that I'm always going to add more weight to. Yeah, I don't care if they're wrong, you know, from time to time. Generally 90 to 95% of the time, those time frames are, you know, are the ones for me. So this pullback on the hourly, like I said earlier, it doesn't scare me, it doesn't worry me. It's just a question of what do I want to see now to confirm that that higher time frame level that I see on the weekly and the daily, yeah, is indeed still in play. Yeah, and that price does want to go there. I know it's going to go there eventually, but I just need to figure out when. Yeah, you know, when's it viable for me to jump into the marketplace, right? You know, and do something with Euro JPY, right? Because right now I can't do anything with it, right? This is not my style of trading. Just taking a pullback doesn't make sense to me. I need to see confirmation. The acceleration of liquidity, the acceleration of the drive for liquidity, the one that's the most important for me, the way that I see it, you know, in terms of price and price movement, is this one right here, right? So I'm going to emphasize this one let's do yellow. I'm going to emphasize this one with the yellow, right? So this yellow box right here, price needs to get back above this now. If price doesn't get back above this, I've got absolutely no interest in doing anything with, you know, Euro JPY in terms of any study trades. But as far as the lessons, obviously, you know, this is all the lessons will always be on Euro JPY. But as it stands in terms of structure, it needs to get back above this now, right? So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I do apologize for dragging it on, you know, more than I expected it to be. And I will catch up with you tomorrow. I am in a bit of a rush, so I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow in the next episode. Like I said, I'll do my best to be in front of the screen before the news release and recording. If not, then it'll be slightly after. But I might do the USD CAD news release and just solely focus on that without going through all the other pairs, and that'll just give me time to just record that. And maybe if I can pick up a live trade as well as a study, that, you know, that would be good as well. All right, guys. So I'll leave it at that. I hope everybody's well. If you're enjoying the videos, please give them a thumbs up, and I will speak to you soon. Take care.